Doing well today, Pastor Jared here. Today, today I want to talk about the love of God, and I think it's interesting. Part of kind of the I guess genesis of me talking about this is I started reading a Walter Wangerin book that has a bunch of short stories, and the first couple of that I've read so far, they talk so much about God's love, and one of them it talks about how sometimes, I mean, really part of the moral of it is we hide from God's love. And we see that all throughout the Bible. We see, I mean, Adam and Eve, they hide from God because they're afraid, because they don't understand. And that's one of the things, you know, thinking about God's love, just how great it is. First John 3:1 says, "How great is the love that the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." That's amazing. One of my favorite songs that I came to know in seminary was it's the love of God, and the I'm just going to read a couple of the verses because I think they are just so great. It says, "The love of God is greater far than tongue or pen can ever tell. It goes beyond the highest star and reaches to the lowest hell. The guilty pair bowed down with care. God gave his son to win. His erring child he reconciled and pardoned from his sin." The last verse says, "Could we with ink the ocean fill, and were the skies of parchment made, were every stalk on earth a quill, and every man a scribe by trade, to write the love of God above would drain the oceans dry, nor could the scroll contain the whole, though stretched from sky to sky." If we ever get to the point that when we think of the love of God, we are not astounded by it, then we don't understand the love of God. Because it is astounding to think through that God, the creator of the universe, loves us and became one of us so that we could know who our creator is, so that we could have forgiveness. And that image, one of the things I love about this is the third verse. That's actually it's inspired by a very ancient Jewish prayer. That the lines to that's from like the 12th century. Um, the man who wrote the song "The Love of God Is Greater Far" in the 1948 1951 time period, he said that he got the inspiration from seeing something written on the wall in the insane asylum where he worked. And it was, as we've come to find out, it's been researched, it was this prayer that was written in the 12th century that was used as a part of worship in the synagogue, which it says, "At God's command is infinite power, which words cannot define. Were all the skies parchment, and all the reeds pen, and all the oceans ink, and all who dwell on earth scribes, God's grandeur could not be told." That's where that God's and really God's grandeur is best seen in His love, His unreasonable love for us, humanity who rebels against Him, and we will never fully, completely, in its totality, understand God's love. We can understand parts of it, but it should always amaze us and astound us and leave us puzzled how much God loves us. And the thing is, when we don't understand something, we usually try to stay away from it. And I think that's why, Adam and Eve, they hid from God because they'd done something wrong and they didn't understand love. They didn't understand God's love, and so they hid themselves from God. Really, the story of God trying to reconnect with creation and bring humanity back is about Him trying to enter in, and Him trying to share His love with a humanity who's afraid of it because it doesn't understand it, because it can't fathom it. That I think is amazing. I hope that's something that brings you hope. You are loved. You are loved by the Creator. You are loved more than by the Creator than anyone else on earth can love you. Jesus came and died for you. If you were the only human being on earth, He would have still come and died for you. Hope you guys are having a good day. See you later.